Welcome back to the channel, and in this week's video I'll be providing a positive post-physio update and documenting my return for running. So I'll start with a bit of context, and for the past couple of years really I've been suffering with this sort of nagging niggle in my hip that has not meant that I've been able to run to my full potential, and it's kind of left me a bit frustrated with not being able to train properly and not being able to run quick either. It's really limited when I've tried to do any top end speed, and I've wanted to get to the bottom of it. So I started sort of 6 months ago trying to rest it for a couple of weeks. This didn't really do it any good. I ran then for 6 months, trained for a marathon, but it still persisted, so I opted to rest it for a little bit longer this time, for 4 weeks in total. I got an MRI scan which proved that there was nothing structurally up with it, and I'd gone to physio too. So I had returned to running after 4 weeks, but was still waiting for that physio appointment on the Wednesday. So I'd had 2 to 3 runs. I've just running easy, again without physio's orders or expert advice. I didn't want to do anything I shouldn't be doing, but I did want to see how it would react to just a bit of light jogging. I then got a pretty strong theory from the physio after assessing me, telling the symptoms, what had happened, going through a few assessments, and the main thing really was that the hip issue isn't sort of a primary issue, it's a secondary sort of response reaction to the root cause issue really, which is hidden within the glutes. So did find that I was suffering from quite a bad gluteal tendinopathy, which had been sort of left unchecked over a couple of years really. So that was more than likely the main root cause of the issue. If my glutes, my glute med in particular, that gets a lot of force through it when you're running, if that isn't activating my full larger glute muscles, my glute max, more strain is being then loaded onto the glute med, which is then what's causing my issues. At least that's the theory anyway. So what I want to do really is to strengthen that. The physio had confirmed that me stopping running wouldn't really have had any impact on the recovery of this kind of injury, as it wasn't anything that was like a impact bone injury kind of thing. So I'm all right to load it, but what it really needs is strengthening and to protect whilst I'm in my running movements. So really the key is to strengthen that muscle now, and not just the muscle, the tendons, the ligaments all around it. So it's got to be a bit more of a serious S&C approach. So I've started this week already with some daily banded exercises. Some were similar to like what I did in my warm-up mobility before my run on Saturday. Mainly some sort of side movement, side adduction, some side lunges and squats, and some clamshells as well, which I still need to perfect my technique on a little bit. So that's one to work on over the course of my rehab journey. So I'm back in again on Wednesday of next week, so I'm hoping to progress from the banded exercises to something a little bit more of a progression that's going to bring me closer to strengthening all those muscles and ligaments, ready to run again. And when I say run again, I mean I'm running at the moment, but it is just very following a couple of rules really. Keep both the intensity and the duration fairly low. So definitely the intensity very low, and the duration I'm probably not going too much over 40 minutes at the moment. And what does that mean for my training now? And it's a little bit of a A tough one really. Obviously the key priority is to rehab this injury, to get running healthy again, and that comes before everything really. But in the back of my mind, I've entered a couple of events that, if it's possible, I would still like to do, but I'm not going to do anything that is too daft. So I already know that Ashby 20 is 3 and a bit weeks away now. I've not run for a month. I'm building up to, my longest run has probably been about 6 miles this week, and I already know that running Ashby in a fit state and trying to go for a reasonable time is completely out the window. But I have still got a slight chance of, who knows how my body reacts off this easy running, that maybe I could be treating that as a long run. It's a 2-lap course, so I could always do the first 10 and drop out. I think I'd be capable of running 10 miles by then, and it's an event I don't really want to miss out on, but I'm obviously not going to put myself in the bin and delay my injury any further just because I want to do one event. I mean, I've done it 5 times already. It's always going to be here every year. It's just one I enjoy and gives me a mental target of, if I do everything right, this could still be a sort of 20% up chance of happening still. Now, I'll talk a bit about cross training too, as that's been something that's given me a good focus while I've not been running, and I do want to continue this in my routine, but obviously it's got to change a little bit because I won't have enough time to manage, say, 4 or 5 swims a week and 3 or 4 bike rides. I've really just got to, I think, use my cross training, just take it day by day of how I'm feeling, and if I feel like I need a bit of recovery on my legs, I'll opt for a swim. If I feel like, I don't know, the last week or so I've done quite a bit of swimming, and I know I said swimming I'm going to get no injuries from, but I felt that my elbow was getting a little bit sore on my dominant pulling arm, so that was something that I've got to keep an eye on, and I'll opt for a little bit more cycling in the next few days to manage that. And in summary, it is pretty good news this week. I've had a couple of good weeks, and that news has just confirmed that I do have a sort of genuine reason to pin what happened on and how I'm going to rehab this and get better, which I didn't have last week. Last week was a bit confusing, having the MRI scan showing nothing, but clearly I'm still in as much discomfort as I was previously. I will take you through that banded routine that I've been doing to rehab, speed it up a bit so you're not watching all of it, but we're starting off with some side adductions. I've been adding a heavy resistance band to add that resistance, make it a bit more challenging. I've got 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 8 on everything, mainly on that right side, but I don't want to cause any imbalances, so I've been doing them on the left side too. I then got some side lying clams. This is the one where I think my technique could improve on this. I don't think I'm getting the full benefit from this exercise, so I'll check in next week with the physio on how to get these a little bit better. I then got some side squats, so pretty straightforward, just like a squat but with a step to the side before, with that weighted band again, and finishing off with some side lunges. So really getting a good focus on particularly that glute med, really to strengthen that back up, so it's protecting the area of my hip that I'm getting discomfort in when I'm back running. If you're interested in following my rehab journey from this injury, you've had a similar injury yourself and you want to see someone else take the steps to get back, and are interested in my running journey beyond this, do give a subscribe, like and comment on my videos so I often reply to all the comments and be interested in how your running is going too. So you will get notifications for the next video, and I'll see you in next week's video.